very much important for your very self. Because there will come a time you will need a documentation for proof, say, that this time you're born or you forget birth certificate. If you not get, then you begin to rush. Oh, government, therefore delay people, then quickly blame government. It is not about blaming government. It is about blaming your very self, Khadija Bangura. Because you have refused to cooperate with what government has provided for you.
And the program Good Morning Salone, they continue. Inside the studio this morning, we get with the Director General from the National Civil Registration Authority, Mohammed Massakoy, where they give updates about the different work we NCRA done they do. Mr. Massakoy, you don't talk about the different stage and the one day in terms of registration and all of that. Now, one thing we don't sign the National Civil Registration, we know the current stage on a day and that particular process day. Una don't get them complete or more things they won't have need for do.
No, you're not the complete. You're not the complete registration. Because...
But I get a target for meat. For say we want meet so amount of the country in population.
No, generally, in fact, as a country, in terms of the United Nations guidelines, the percentage we don't get now is enough for say we have done well as a country.
And when are the percentage?
We don't get almost 90%. I just announced that just now.
Go
now, for instance, look like a country like Nigeria. They don't establish their own identity management commission long before Salone came to in 2016. But yes, they are still they have not got much. We'll go meeting where they announce their own figures there. That made them say Salone, South Africa, Rwanda, and I can't tell the rest of Africa how you can manage that process. So once people continue to exist, once you are born to yourself, once you born, once possibly die. And Khadija, as she married, we still get for leave. The CR they continue, civil registration they continue, because it help government and you for know almost people there, the status what they what they do for plan for all.
Mr. Masako, when you begin for talk earlier, you say NCI you don't get about 85% of Sierra Leone and the data now don't capture. Now let's look at the importance. The same way this whole civil registration process will begin, you become the media, especially 98.1. You can't talk about the importance. Waiting Salone people then stand for gain. One of the importance there we talk about now the securitized national identity card where citizen go get, and this national identity card you go able to travel with another ECOWAS country them if even you know get passports. From that 10 day to now about 4 years, if I can remember, we can talk about this thing. And up till now, the one they want don't capture na them data, now just a slip then get. So it's not the updates, but Sierra Leone and the national identity card.
The way you wouldn't single out that as an update on the ID card. But when you blend the ID card with the importance of benefit of the civil registration, you go see say identity card and just one small component of
that. One of the outstanding things them way everybody be they look forward to see, and they can get a securitized national ID card where are they used for travel and other ECOWAS country them. And from that same day to now, people they don't get an ID card. I make her ask you, say, waiting at the updates.
That is true. But I want also for making people that know, say, ID card is just a small component of civil registration. But
waiting
again, maybe after the continue,
waiting at the updates of this small component of the civil registration.
Talk about that. When you say we don't take 4 years on the ID card, it is true we take 4 years. But we have not promised to give ID cards, to give biometric securitized ID cards fake. What we have done as a country, they always say what they produce. If you look at the design now, the one they don't bring it now. Since I tell you in April this year, we don't follow the process. Say from that time we don't get more registration. We call now for go confirm more information and we make sure say we comply with the law, the regulation, we say what for do XYZ. We make sure say we are consistent with in line with the international regulations, what in the world, what in the UN, what ECOWAS in terms of securitized biometric legal identity system, what is we don't comply with all of those ones. Finally, we took the documents to cabinet. Cabinet graciously approved that. Following that, hold it. We'll go beyond that. I tell you now, in April this year, we don't secure parliamentary ratification for beginning now for produce. We'll give the authority for produce ID cards now.
Then same thing, Mr. Masako, then same things there. So this same update where you they give listener then so I believe say sometimes in 2021 or 2020, we don't care about who ask you the same question.
No, if you play your sister, you will tell you, say, yeah, I was
Mr.
not the time
Masakwe.
I tell you, say, we don't get parliamentary ratification. That happened on the 17th of April this year. We don't get that now. What thing now we'll start for doing immediately? We make people that know, say, government don't go into the agreements now with these people here for produce this system. At the same time, we say the ID card they produce this time is different in a way that would they less the body per people there for common Kabbalah can Freetown, for common hold it please, for common Makeni can Freetown or Pujam for can Freetown. Now we get structures all there put there now. As I speak to you, we don't do all the design and the production of the we don't start the physical production of the ID cards. Now we are now in all the districts who's already open centers now, production distribution centers for let you not move Kabbalah can Freetown. Who's you go apply for your ID card and you get an
So looking stage now,
Wait,
Mr. Masakwe.
you have asked for update. This is not for you alone, and for let people in this country know where we are with it, so that people cannot misinform others. So now, would they go through all of those ones, all the districts? If you go to the NCI office now, you can see a whole portion now. Oh, they're almost done for fix. An apartment we don't fix for that purpose day. If you go to the other district, that is what we are doing. And later this month, we are calling our staff. We get for them in charge of that solely for can do the training of how to manage the process. They won't forget a system with similar to what is happening now, Western world. No go get your back. As you go, they announce you say you come for do, you apply for ID card. The system will tell you what side you go to, what's going to happen to you the thereafter, what side you go do. Say you go to your ID card, you come, you're not going to be of anybody.
NCRA gets the infrastructural system and other things that we take for own up such an advanced digital process. So now one can wait for let people and get something where you go say this not an advanced one in terms of the ID card.
No, that make it will take good time for me to do that. Law not lie.
Will not get
business. And they pass, of course, that the contractor will make sure say would they in line with the international system say these ID cards are available, have them at this date, and very soon you can't see that one now. Today after this interview, just walk through the NCI office, you can see it don't change now.
Okay.
You can now see say this is a production center for the ID cards.
Okay.
You don't have that before.
You say NCRA gets parliamentary approval for this ID card inside April, and now NCRA they on the production stage for ensure say all my wanna be done capture now on a system gets them securitized ID card. With this process we don't they carry on and now at the production stage. When exactly citizens them go begin get their ID card since we don't begin produce?
Production and issuance of ID cards. Both those don't do production now. We don't know the training of all of those ones. We don't fix the facility. As I speak to you, the engineers are here going around the district now.
Okay.
For make sure that the facilities are in place. We don't want for as they begin put this ID card 1-2 months. They say, oh no, you don't short it. No.
Una need
So-
to produce all my own before una begin issue.
We want to make sure say it is done concurrently, simultaneously across all the districts in this country.
Okay,
You
continue.
don't go put your, you say no, I'm not get ID card day, or you can't them and they say they say no, go filter. We cannot do that as a government.
Okay.
It has to be done simultaneously across all the districts.
With
That
the-
you should be proud of.
We dey come back to your name na Mohammed Masakwe, in the Director General and NCRA. They talk about the difference in them where NCRA don't do as way for improve civil registration and other process them na the country for let people get authentic identification. Well, the program Good Morning Salone they continue.
The NCRA Director General Mohammed Masakwe today with we in the studio as we dey talk about the different process them where NCRA don't they do for ensure say then capture all Salone people them na the data management system. Mr. Masakwe, earlier we dey talk about the updates on the ID card them, and you say production don't begin and anytime soon una go begin for issue the ID card them to citizens the way una be not able for capture. The production still dey go on, and inside the 2022 proposed public elections bill, we see a provision there where they talk say during the voter registration process, the NIN number for be one part of the criteria them for let somebody become eligible for register with the ECSL. And according to different explanation they all don't get from ECSL, would are not being captured, it's not the NCRA system during the time when they go vote. NCRA will get a desk na the voter registration center so that they will capture all Salone cities in them. How the capacity in terms of preparedness, because the voter registration process will begin just now inside September?
Well, the Electoral Commission will announce that not just grab one day and say, now that will follow. This has been a process, hold on, follow engagement from the last 2-3 years, because not now it don't start. But say NEC and NCIA, they collaborate, not to today. If you look at the records from the policy of 2014, where Cabinet adopt, they go to the law, where Parliament enacted in 2016, where established NCIA, a very much clearly. And fortunately for us and the Electoral Commission, we just move forward the engagement with NEC, then and NCIA began, we inform the conduct of the elections in 2018, and then beyond 2018 for make sure say we are in line with what the law say, as well as the recommendations from the election observer missions, international organizations. So far in that process, we have been engaging with the Electoral Commission very strongly for make sure say the systems, what we will make for the structures we will put in place say, at every center, they do the update, NCIA staff there. The essence there is you have to be part of the civil registration system, which is very much important, because civil registration, you get everybody for the in the system there. And that don't start and it continue. You know, we don't wait 5 years or do that in the or 10 years to do that, it continue. So that aspect of the NIN is very much important, because the NIN, they uniquely identify individual, the verification of anybody. Everybody in this country will don't register. That is 90% of what they talk about. So all of them, including me, will all get the national identification number. Waiting that identification number they do, they uniquely identify. You know, they make sure say no two man they get one name. In the past, in this country, other numbers that people don't get. For instance, the PIN code will be used for pay salaries in this country. What would do payroll claim in 2018? One man they get 2-3 PIN code, or 2-3 man they get one PIN code. So that be a recipe.
I ask you, Mr. Masako, I ask you if NCIA get the capacity, because during the term for the debates in Parliament, the issue of capacity now one way come up for members of Parliament them that NCIA gets the capacity, because they don't begin the civil registration process.
Anybody will imagine say NCIA not get capacity, possible say it just one for a got different intention. But we have the capacity. We don't just do the registration across the country. In fact, many of our equipment for that process,
registration process even gets a whole lot of challenges.
There should be no challenge.
Let
people let we learn in this country. Let we learn for help. Make sure that this country had to go before. Usai, say the very people they say, oh no, therefore use the name. They are beneficiaries of the name today. Then they use a name. The name don't help them forget their own business, the right in place. But now then the people they talk down in there for limit other people for them not access the good thing where they forget from the name.
All this system where you try for introduce for make people get authentic and advanced form of identification are a good thing. But on the other hand, people they get confused. The issue of national identity card don't come and the issue of national identity number. Which one is it? Like when are the difference between a form of identity and one are they try for introduce?
Identity ID card. Now the card where you get Mohammed Mubashir Masako my name. It gave me personal information, it gave me name. Everybody will don't register.
So they need they already doing the ID card as well?
Yes, you get your name. Anywhere you go to the world, you go to United States of America. The one the way they criticize, when they talk about name in the bad way, they know say America now the name that they use for uniquely identify you where you go there. Now they use for now they link that number they call them social security. Now they link with you on personal identification for identify uniquely. We want to go hospital. As you go to hospital in America, then when you see they say they ask for you SS number. They don't ask for your name also. Now your number that they ask for. As they put that number, now nothing about it in the so where the capacity for work with the Electoral Commission.
So what they all now up when make unable produce none of the entire to the public for say let people begin get access to her now. What is really the all up NCRA?
No. Everybody now that your certificate to register so. You subtil. Just check on that certificate where you get name panel. Look at, for example, Just one example of an adoption. What we do? Look at you get your name. This person here. Look the name here. Everybody will register. Everybody knows say you get name. You know say you get name here. This know somebody that's a certificate.
Mr.
That certificate
May I bring you back
not
to
that we're hidden.
Mr. Masako.
Everyone will register in this country. We confirm last year. We do once you don't register, you name them with you. You get name. Not to possibly put that name there. Now machine the system the generator. And that mean the difference with that name. No two man they get her. They know they give other person. If you will die, they know they give nobody. So that the help for make sure say it is transparent, it is accountable. There is no duplication. There is no waste of any resource.
Mr. Masako, I'll bring you back to the area of capacity. Now, NCRA and ECSL get for do collaboration during the voter registration process. In terms of capacity, how well prepared is NCRA for ensure say any eligible person we're gonna the queue, it will able to go through the NCRA, then it proceed to ECSL without any delay?
Government will get all the facilities, we get the equipment that we'll use, and the personnel in there will go use for do that registration. So when you go, if your name not there, before you go on the register, quickly you get the biometric kit there. You capture you there and will transmit you. Now electronic system they use for not so they can't use flash drive again for taking information as how they been doing in the past. Because we see, this is how we get now very transparent that nobody, not they mess them up. When you see they put in them the name of the system, you take a biometric, the system just they send you name direct.
Okay.
And going forward, the interesting part now what we have done as a government and our partners, anybody we don't turn to 18 in this country, this was supported by the European Union, the Irish and the UNDP. As you turn 18, you don't reach voting age in this country. You don't go to the next system directly.
Okay.
It's very transparent. Everybody's here. So not us for say, oh no, Lord, waiting 5 years. No.
Continue.
So continue. So we are there. The personnel are there and the equipment in there.
Okay. Continue for the between name na Mohammed Masakoy and na the Director General and National Civil Registration Authority. Therefore, talk about the different registration and identification process them where NCRA don't put in place. Mr. Masakoy, you don't mention so many things them way on don't put in place for ensure people get authentic form of identification document. You be just to talk on the issue of the NIN and also the identity card. One thing where people be see from NCRA now the eagerness and preparedness for say this new advanced digital system on a really prepare for forget all them things here in place. But now we don't see a lot of issues as form of excuse waiting make not get to the stage it for bring out the authentic identification card to people them. NCRA not be considered say a lot need for be put in place first before they get these things done. Or not be no waiting involved. Forget something in a advanced form of one. Before una start forget people in the mood, tell people and say una try go register and get authentic information, but then self?
No, not excuses. You know, Salone, many people not get patience. Particularly forget the right thing done. They want haste, and they see the wrong one. The other day, they blame the people in back. We don't want to be associated with that. Whatever we do now, the government and the NCIA and the one for make sure, so whatever we do, a permanent, you're proud of her, it lasts. Was this, no, this is good for me, even though the delay was genuine. Now, we'll not give any excuse. All what we have been doing will make sure we say, waiting for happen, for make we get to point to Z, we don't follow all of those ones. We don't register people, we don't continue to register, we'll give opportunity to subdue, can check what will get there in place, we initiate the procurement process, government allow we, we'll go through all down in there, we'll make sure, we'll not just don't say, otherwise if we don't take shortcuts, that's it. Say no, that will write to President Bio for you executive clearance. But President Bio say no, you know they give misguided clearance like that. Say you circumvent a policy, a law. You say because if this one, this they say the guy can give approval. No, I don't do that. And Mr. Etna will recommend the President give executive clearance for law will jump the procurement policy, this law for law will take time. It was about Masako, you ought to know better. We don't go through all that process, we don't tell you nothing. We don't get the legality for make sure so to get a day in place. We don't start now. We don't say All of you are on the system now. You have verified the information, it is in place. We don't move forward to say, we don't let any more move than home again, can't fit on for ID card. How can we be more magnanimous?
Let me talk about the population of the country now, because the last thing we'll get to now, so we talk about the country in population, and you believe see.
Why should we talk about ID card, Khadija? Members say it's important for let people they know more about the national identification number. You think say where government don't say you link parliament will approve that. Parliament I approve say services in this country now tied linked to the name. Where you want to go take your driving license, you don't take it for can't take the NIN number. You forget her. So that tomorrow when you a motor car get problem any side, when you get accident, you want to run away. Any offense could be tied to you. They don't say na substitute Salone, na motor car down by the number because it's tied to the name. Before that, it be loose. When man does somebody bank, it wrong go. We can do that in America or London, where you bank person. As you don't bank, you don't get offense, you don't cross traffic light, where you for stop. The camera don't pick you. Or if the police hold you, you number, if you are not there, that number, the vehicle number tells us who that get that vehicle there. Or you want to go to business, if they say we register a business or you get your tax clearance. Now it's tied to the NIN. Before that time, Khadija, you get 2-3 business in this country. You may just pay for tax for just one. You did the other one or you the balance government, you pay tax. You want the country go before. But you now yourself don't begin play that kind of game with government. Or with yourself as it is. But now when we get the system linked to tax identification or tax business linked to the NIN, it's clear. We say one man will get 2-3 business, it's accounted for. But important also, you see all the problem about land cases in this country. It is because there is no distinct way for identify property owners. Even the challenge where ACC can get to government with people, the public officials, for declare the asset. Link asset declaration bar or property registration with the name, with the NIN. Say, where Mohammed Masako you get land, you get house, register that day, where you register the or Administrator General's office. That is linked to the NIN. Once that is done, the land when we get any property we get, as they put my name no more, my name, everything, all property we get in the register. What you make say, even for your marriage, would they ask for your name? So that man when they say he gets one, we get 2, 3 F, the other one they don't know. But the name they show say Francis Lai, he gets Satu, he gets Khadija, he gets Mabel. It's clear. Why do people want for send bad message to the country against that thing where they make sure say everything open for let all man know what happen at the country.
Mr. Masako,
almost government go to that and they go say, let me business be open, let all man know.
Mr. Masako, when I've been start this process for the civil registration, the target population by then have been 7 million people. And recently, Statistics Salone don't publish them provisional data result for the midterm housing and population census within just do. In this area, it clearly shows it based on the provisional results. The population don't go a little over 7 million people. Some areas they don't grow, some areas they don't reduce based on the provisional results. Then, what the NCIA go do for capture the data of the new released provisional results from statistics?
Now let me go encourage everybody say, Khadija, when you born picking today, register. If you find what they want to register it, make sure say register. Now, physical presence, take information, including biometric and other features we take for confirming your physical existence. Beyond that, in fact, we don't do now as an authority. We don't work with the IOM, the UNICEF, and the UNDP. We even don't look at now people that are stateless. People will not get owner. We get some migrants that work in this country, in this country. No side ending. Nobody know nobody. But now we get away for traveling. So we are able to comprehensively account for anybody, even the one that in the streets, because they get life. Now, government hospital for make sure say anybody in this country is protected, and you can't be protected if you are not normal.
Okay. Continue for the week in name na Mohammed Masako, Director General from NCRA. They give updates about different registration and identification process them where they don't do in the country so that people get authentic form of identification document.
We come back to Mohammed Masako, the Director General for the National Civil Registration Authority. Earlier, before we go for that briefly, I will ask you, But waiting NCIA go do in relation to the provisional data with statistics Salone don pull, especially for area dem wey dem population don increase. Some people them according to within statistics we dey explain na issue of migration. We don't come up from one point to another. And clearly, not to everybody, NCIA be don't capture na them data them. Some people still their phone and not be able to capture it. Now that area there, so outside the population don't increase. Is it that NCIA will pay more focus na the area there, so forget everybody captured into a system?
We focus on everybody, everywhere. Never. Let me put now all these streets. We know they say a lot of focus on the carrying, for instance, we left Cambia out. All the districts are equal to us. But to get now, who they make you no say, we are available for register you, for getting information. But I want to remind you, say, you self as an individual, a citizen or a foreigner in this country, you get the responsibility for making yourself known. Then you do your registration. When you born, register your picking, then you get birth certificate. When your family die, now -1. Not so. You register down in that debt. By so you don't get the correct population, how it grow or how it reduce. When you married, now your status they change. Report that, we'll register and we'll certify that. But people don't understand anything in there because they feel say no more. Oh, when my brother die, why I go to a government say my brother don't die. Government they cry bury. It's beyond that. It's for your very because government they use them figure then they work closely with statistics like them. Government they use them figure then the information they for planning and development. For no say, if you now get a very good system like we don't work now so, like then disaster will happen. If flooding take place in a particular area, we have been able to support the disaster management agency for advice and say that area they now 10,000 people there, now the condition in there. It's because we have the database. When you go to America or London, where something happens, precisely they say, na time maybe another Oze, where that fire accident take place. Then they go register there again. You have it. So what else would you want to do other than that system that tells you clearly this is what you have and that this you will do, and that helps you to plan for development of the country.
So, Mr. Masako, in line with NCI, they work for achieve the mandate for CCA. People get more authentic form of identification. We don't see on another get joint partnership with other institutions them. And recently inside May, specifically we saw do a joint communique with the Ministry of Labour and also the Immigration Department. Waiting this communique they speak to in line with the NIN.
Now another component of that contract will sign with Parliament ratify using the NIN number. We make sure, say, for instance, the one who will sign with the Road Safety Authority for vehicle registration, driving license, attestation, and etc. are now tied to the NIN. So clearly, every vehicle owner, transfer of vehicle or keke or okada is clearly transparent now that you know owner of every one of those assets in this country. So in case of theft, you know this now something you get this clear. And in case of offense, other offenses, then you able to link them up with this person entirely. What does that? It is the NIN. We'll do one with the immigration, for instance. We say one man they get all kinds of bad pine passport, not so, or Salone passport. People they get foreigners they get another. They not forget about the getter. But now when you get the NIN number tied to this, no information don't change by that passport. We say because you don't win DV or because you go Hajj, they say, oh, you don't 60 years now, the age mean 60 years, for instance, so you want for Kenya. It don't go work because now immigration no say when they apply for passport, you forget your NIN number. So it's a mandatory. We don't get plenty foreigners and we don't get work permit or resident permit. Then you go in Canada. Now I know you will see that kind of thing happen. If we see that as a government say no, for stop that because it's a source of revenue. Any foreigner within this country forget work permit, if you can work or forget resident permit. Those two permits are tied now to the NIN.
So for
why is that so?
So for which you don't say so much emphasis on the NIN where they already there to people that when they will register. So is it that people not for expect for see any the form of identification, that the ID card itself anytime soon? Because the NIN also not the ID card, you understand? Or not just they make a more advanced with people and
No.
face and everything.
NIN,
So it's
they
all of this way
decide-
they say anytime soon people not expect the ID card itself.
No, I will say anytime soon. I just told you what was outside the interview. Say, now we're in the stage of production. Would they establish the centers now outside you go for don't go now. No come on at your home camp town. Go there and the office say apply for your ID card. The type you want. You want ECOWAS ID card, just apply for that and you get and we want for get all the centers they ready. So we'll start say this date will they start for get ID card, you go na Kabbalah, a open day for that. We don't want to hear any excuse say, oh no, the Kabbalah will not let for go.
Mr. Masako, during the process for the civil registration, a lot of issues then be there that the different centers them, especially when the process just begin, for let people then will go through the voter registration process, and some certain people then concerned so they not be able to go through the process now because of the issues and challenges. Now this NIN na a criteria for voter registration and when I go for work in collaboration with ECSL. How NCRA go ensure say the issues that will be there during the civil registration process, people who they go to the voter registration center them, they not encounter them for being delayed during the process.
But not to issues, the issues themselves now with us as a people. Because it's clear. One example, we just hear just now somebody asked me for information about a person. When I don't see that clearly just now. When I don't see them before, when I don't ask the system, don't think I get discrepancy. Just learn for give you true identity. Say me na Mohammed Mubashir Masako. Me born this date this year. As you check down the show. But when you go, you change you play that came in your business. Now you go make it difficult for you, and you cannot fool us.
In line with this
us either.
identity, Mr. Masako, the issue of people we get middle name mostly rather use initial instead of the full name. That in any way go bring a problem if the person wants any document or want for travel.
No, what they do registration, we not they use initial. Not the identity is not they go halfway. It's complete. Mohammed, I just wait they call me just Mohammed Masako. What I tell you, as a put on the Mohammed Mubashir Masako. That's identity. Now you reflect me identity, me true identity. But when you go halfway, people go begin guess. So that they make it difficult for people then. But so far, with they add more sensitization, let people then know. Say, when you go, the ECSL will announce clearly the procedures that people get for follow. Where you go for go do you update, go ascend to centers, everything will be communicated to the public. And UNICEF help for educate the public. So anybody where they anywhere where they say let people do not accept the use of the NIN, it's a deceit.
Now you say they through the production stage for the securitized national ID card them, and very soon ECSL will start the voter registration where go for work in collaboration with them, producing the national identity card them, capturing citizens them through the voter registration for get the NIN. Now to process them where NCRA go able for do systematically without any delays?
No. Already the population they will the electoral commission one for the next election. And we'll get more than that. We'll get about 6 million people, over 6 million at the register. So if you go, let's say out of every 100 or 200 or 500 people, one person they way, why is it the ECSA they check for that 500, the processor? That one there's up to you guys in
that's why the people and where
that can be done
immediately.
One man against 500.
That's why the people and we already then at the data where you go, you show you NIN,
that is it.
Just punch them,
yes.
then take you information.
Sure.
And they ask you now for the one them where una not be able for capture. Una go able do then two system process that
instantaneously as he presents himself no more. This machine day, the personnel day, not the delay, not to all man you go do it again.
For let people and get an ID card them, we not go see in a situation outside NCRA go come back and say because of the voter register process, so they do it ECSL and that they don't bring delay.
No, we have never said that. Khadija, appreciate the fact say something has happened. Good. We're going to be proud of.
But if you don't give me dates now, one time say December.
There is not a time I don't tell una say tell people that country say we don't establish production centers now. Production don't start now. They can't call people they will designate for manage that ID production, for candle training. I don't invite you for go.
So in as much
you will
as
see it. I don't invite you also for Kana NCI office after this interview. Come and see the facility there. Let me show you the sample of the cards now.
So you don't so
Then you
much
could see what
emphasize the reason why people forget authentic form of identification. But again, people are hearing from you again, when they're in charge for ensuring that the public get authentic form of identification. They give so many reasons why we not get to the stage it for like people get this advanced form of identification. How much people for trust this system where they plan for introduce or where you don't begin put measures in for introduce?
Well, we'll continue for them and know what will they do. And when you say where they try and see what in they do, you will be the ambassador for tell people to say different. You have been there. You now you say they people and now say, they will be porous forget birth certificate or this certificate. It's not different now. Now when you go there, where did the police is certificate from one state to the other? The system will not allow you if you are not the information is not complete. It's not possible. But again, kings are not respected in their homes. Other countries, I just told you, they tell me say Rwanda, Sierra Leone, and South Africa. When I tell old man, how far what you are going to do? How will manage get to that point in the those other countries are learning from us. Just recently, 2 months ago, Nigeria were here. For country say what would we do in this country on ID? You heard that it was on news. You saw them on news. So you can imagine say Salone will be a point of study today for bigger countries if we are not doing well. So let us tell our people what we are doing. But importantly, let us emphasize the importance. Anybody who wants Yuki, Dakadeke, use NI.
All right, thank you very much, Mohamed Masako.
But when you want to maintain, when you want to forget rogue business, now they say no to NI. But you want legality, you want correct business, you want accountability, transparency, use national identification number.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Masako. We can the program this morning for can explain about the different process them way the National Civil Registration Authority don't they do for ensure they then get authentic data for all Salone citizens. Them now we'll end the program. Good morning, Salone. For today on edition, Michael Sambola and Alex Lawrence Coleman and then produce the program. DJ Lava, Nangiwi technical support. Samuel Hompan, I make on our watch we live now Facebook page. Mena Kadija Bangla, wishing all a lovely day.
And Sapti Kalon, they say blessed week ahead and bye bye.